Ha 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 ha. Oh my god. Woo. Still sounds cool. Scott Brown here. It's the new Hikoki framing nailer, or if you live in America, the MetaboHPT. Don't ask me why. Six years ago, I got this battery framing nailer here, the Hikoki battery framing nailer. And I've tried many of the other options, but this has still been my go-to gun for 6 years. Well, finally, they've replaced it with the 2.0 version, the new Hikoki battery framing nailer. In this exciting episode, we're going to compare it to the old one. We're going to compare it to some of the other options that are on the market. That's pretty cool. And we're going to answer that age-old question. Is this the battery framing nailer that will replace your compressed air nail gun? There we go. Two hands is better than one. I've been using this for the last couple of months. I will still call this a first impression video because really you need proper time with tools. You need years, to be honest. And I've had years with the old one, so I can confidently say that it's great. And at first glance, they've definitely changed a lot of things that bothered me about the old one. Now the new one here, this magazine's quite different. You can see the new Hikoki has a much more hollowed out magazine compared to this plasticky closed in one. The body is quite different. See, this is more compressed, but it's actually longer than the old one. The new one's longer. It's a longer nail gun. So they've squished it, but they've pushed it back further. Now this is a big one. A lot of people complained about the nose on the old Hikoki framing gun, myself included. Especially with skew nailing, you can see there's no real claw there. But on the new one, this claw sticks out a lot more exaggerated, and from my testing so far, it makes quite a difference. Now the other thing about the nose of the gun is it sticks out further from the magazine. And I'll show you why that's good in this exciting episode. They haven't moved the lock, which I think is entirely pointless, from the handle. It's still in the same place. This is where the air is refilled. On the old nailer, the air filling compartment is here. You take a screw out there and that's where you access it. Now another big addition is a light. The new Hikoki has a light, the old one didn't. Now the bottom here, very similar. The battery compartment though is separated. See that? It's got a line going all the way around. That isolates the battery from the gun, so the battery doesn't receive all the shock that you get from using the tool. On the old one here, they've actually got a better rafter hook. See this rafter hook here? Look at the new one. It's just a sharp point. But hey, we'll look at that soon. Other big change on the new one is they've put the buttons here. That's a much more accessible button, and they have 3 buttons there. They have the power button, they have the reset button, and they also have the nail. This is basically how you change it to bump fire if you're anywhere in the world apart from New Zealand. I'm a little concerned about aluminium. I don't know about you, but when I'm framing, sometimes I use my nail gun as a hammer. I kind of whack the frame around, and that kind of takes a beating. But this being aluminium and also hollow, I wonder if that will get dented over time. I don't know, just a speculation. One thing that isn't a speculation though, look at these rafter hooks, or lack of a rafter hook. You've got this big one on the side here, and that one looks like a decent enough rafter hook, but if that's your only option, look how sharp it is for a start, and then you have to, not great. I have been told that they are working on a improved belt hook, which is good, but it's a vague kind of promise. So if you're going to buy the nail gun, maybe consider that. This needs a belt hook. Straight in the pine. And the LVL? Straight in, huh? That extra extension on the nose. This is what it allows you to do. The old Hikoki had issues where you could nail like that, but if you brought the heel down to the surface like this, you can't nail. So you have to bring it up. With the nose extended out a little bit more, look at that. You can lay it flat. Now that will help with various angles while you're framing up a roof or whatever it is you're doing. But the other big one was skewing. And I've been testing this, and the skew is much better on the new one. So they've clearly thought it through, and they've clearly made some important changes. But let's discuss the elephant in the room. Weight is the reason people don't buy battery-only nail guns. So the question is, have they improved the weight? And the short answer is yes, but not by a whole lot. So my scales may be off, but the new Hikoki reads at 3.7 kilograms. So that's about a cup of coffee lighter than the old model, which is just over 4 kilos. The old Hikoki was already lighter than the Milwaukee. The Milwaukee was 4,520 grams, so 4.5 kilos. And the new Makita, much to many people's disappointment, is 4.8 kilograms. That's a very heavy nail gun. You might be asking, what on earth would you get if you don't get one of these nail guns? It seems like Hikoki's already got the lightest and they've just made it lighter. But many people in New Zealand, they get Paslodes because they are significantly lighter. Oh, look at that! What a difference! I mean, that is the main benefit of the Paslode. Look at it! You've got the Paslode and you've got the Hikoki. The main difference is, the battery only is battery only. So it's got one battery here, and all the battery does is it gets the process going. The main thing that fires the nail is the spring compression system that is in here. So the battery just starts that system. Now the Paslode, on the other hand, is powered by an explosion of gas. The gas canister in the back of this causes a mini explosion, and then the gun works. Because the gas is doing all the heavy lifting, this battery can be tiny. 123 grams, and this is only the 4 amp. 560 grams. So when you think about it, the actual fair weight comparison between these two nail guns would be with batteries inside them. So the new Hikoki is still a full kilo heavier than the Paslode. So why on earth would anyone get the heavy one, you might ask? It was 2017 when I became a self-employed carpenter and started renovating people's houses for a living, and all of a sudden I had to pay for the gas that goes in the Paslode. Around about that time is when I first saw the Hikoki framing nailer, so I bought one. So straight away I was saving money by only buying the nails. I didn't have to buy the gas cartridges. And what I didn't realize though was how much more powerful it was. So the other reason I switched over from the Paslode to battery only nail guns will be illustrated here with this timber. This is pine. This is what we mostly frame houses out of. Followed by LVL, which is laminated veneer lumber. Bit stronger, sometimes guns can struggle with it. And finally, native timber, Rimu. This stuff can be really hard, even for the battery-only nail guns. We'll start off with the Paslode. Alright, we've got full battery. LVL. We're all sticking out a bit. The depth is all the way in as well. Let's do that again. See, it sticks out a bit. And finally, the native timber. See that? Now, I've been upsetting Paslode owners for about 6 years with my videos, criticizing the Paslode, but you got to understand that I've been building for 20 years, and for most of that time, I used these because that was the only option. And 6 years ago, I started using this. And all I did was give my reasons for why I switched over, but people got upset with me. So my reason is the gas, is the smell of the gas. It stinks here right now. The sound, it really pops, and what I just showed you there. It doesn't sink nails, as well as the Hikoki. So let's look at the new one. Oh, there we go. Power it on. Pine, easy. LVL, beautiful. And Rimu. Nicely done. That's why. Now, will that be enough to convince people? That's the real question. Because this is still over a kilo heavier than this, with the batteries in them. So I've got a 4 amp battery in there right now, and this is 4.4 kilograms, and this is 3.3 kilograms. So you're still dealing with a kilo more weight, even though they've brought down the weight compared to the old Hikoki. So if weight's your only thing, you might still go with a Paslode. do understand why people stick with Paslodes. If you're building new houses, or if you work for a company where the company supply all the gas and nails, you're not having to pay for it, fantastic. Or if your clients don't mind you charging them for the gas, I get it. But for me, the Hikoki has been the best option so far. But the real comparison for the new Hikoki should be the old Hikoki and some of the other battery options. Pine, straight in, LVL, no problem. Ooh, Remu, sticking out a little bit. We'll just check the depth adjustment. This is the old Hikoki. Just make sure it's dialed right down. Let's try that one more time. So it looks like there is a bit more power with the new Hikoki. In my previous videos, I've found the Milwaukee to be the most reliable at sinking nails. Straight in, and the rimmer. Oh, look at that. There we go. And finally, the big boy, Makita. I will have a review very soon of this gun. I'm just borrowing it from Makita at this point. But let's see how it goes. No problem with pine. No problem with LVL. Ooh, no problem with Rimu as well. They made it nice and powerful. Okay, so I've been nailing hundreds of nails now. I've got piles of wood there littered with nails. And it's been pretty consistent. The new Hikoki nails as well as the old Milwaukee, and the new Hikoki is 700 grams lighter than the Milwaukee. That's pretty cool. So the new Hikoki with a multi-volt battery like this on it weighs about the same as a bare tool Milwaukee. Same weight, give or take 10 grams. Now, there's other things you can do to deal with the weight, like you can get smaller batteries like this, 3 amp here for the Milwaukee and a 4 amp for the Hikoki. Overall, you're still dealing with a lighter tool with the new Hikoki framing nailer. Side by side, I reckon these are the most comparable. Look at the way the nose sticks out on the Milwaukee here. Kind of similar to this one. The claw on the Milwaukee has always been quite good. The claw on the Milwaukee is actually wider, and on the back it's bulkier on the Hikoki. This Milwaukee has a nice big belt hook here, which the Hikoki doesn't. And then if you flip it over the other side, the Milwaukee has a nice big rafter hook, which is quite similar to the Hikoki rafter hook, although this is skinnier. Oh, but this is heavier. That's the big difference. In conclusion, it feels like this is the love child of the old Hikoki and the Milwaukee. With the exception of the belt hook, which I do not understand why they've only got a rafter hook on here. Maybe they ran out of time. My minor concerns about durability that can only really be tested over the long term. Other than those things, this is probably going to be my go-to gun now. I'm probably going to write my name on it and I'll use this. It's a great option. And that's the thing, we've got so many good options. All those nail guns that I use today, they're great. They're great options. We're spoilt for choice as builders in 2025, which is awesome. There are other things that I haven't wrapped my head around, like see that in there's a reset button, and my understanding is when this thing hits hard timber, sometimes it will mess up the cycle that happens inside here every time you pull the trigger. It'll think it's in a different place in the cycle and then it won't fire nails properly, and you usually have to send a nail gun back when that happens. The reset button lets you do that yourself. But that's an example of me needing a bit more time to use this gun to really do a proper review sometime in the future. In the very near future, I'm going to do a Makita review because that Makita nailer is here. I haven't compared that in this episode because I plan to do it in the Makita episode. Make sure you subscribe, all that stuff. I raised a question at the start of the episode. Will this be the gun to replace your air compressed gun? Whether you're on pneumatic or one of the ones that I tried today. Are you convinced? Is this the next nail gun for you? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Oh yeah, and always wear PPE.
Safety first, Scott.
Because I wasn't wearing any.
What one's new?
The furthest one.
This one?
From me.
Oh, that is a bit lighter.
Yeah?
That's like, I don't know.
Recoil?
That more.
Yeah.
Recoil, is that what that's called?
Yeah.
That felt like it punched me.
Yeah.
Can I try this one?
Yeah, do you want to try it on the bench or on the ground?
Oh, that is heavy. Oh my word, that's heavy.
Yeah.
You have to be a big buff builder to cope with this one. Okay, I'm done.